I'm going to quote Bob Arum here. He's talking about Jarrell Miller and Miller's recent failed PED tests, obviously just over a year after he failed several other tests and lead up to the Anthony Joshua fight, which never was. So Arum said, quote, "I look at it this way. If a fighter takes performance-enhancing drugs getting ready to participate in a fight, then I look at it as attempted murder. What happened in New York, he didn't have a license. He tested dirty and the fight was off. When we went to the Nevada Commission to schedule him for a fight, we told the Nevada Commission, look, if he had been licensed in New York, they would have given him a 1-year suspension. So let's do it ourselves. Keep him out for a year. They did license him and he tested dirty again. Now it's up to the commission to determine the penalty, and I believe that it will be multi-year or life. If he isn't banned for life, then I believe it will be a multi-year suspension. And if you're asking me if I would continue my contract with him, the answer is not in your life. Jarrell Miller will never fight on a top-ranked card." End quote. So it's interesting, isn't it, that Bob Arum is getting all high and mighty, virtue signaling about Jarrell Miller failing this particular PED test, saying that it's attempted murder to go in there when you're on PEDs and fight somebody. Well, why didn't he think that when he signed him? I know that many people will say you have to give people a second chance, but do you give a guy a second chance so soon? Because it was, a year or less than a year? Maybe it was just over a year. I can't remember the exact time frame, but from when Jarrell Miller popped dirty for the AJ fight, what was it, like a year after that, he signed with Arum? And according to Arum, he spoke to the Nevada Commission and told them, look, if he would have been suspended by the New York State Athletic Commission, they would have suspended him for a year. So let's just do it ourselves. So when did he say that? Did he say that 11 months after Miller had popped dirty prior to the AJ fight? Or did he say it like just a couple months after? Because there have been these rumors that he was talking to ESPN for a good while. So where was Bob Arum's morals and all that kind of business then? Now we know that Bob Arum has got a long history of doing some very dubious things. So it is what it is. It's a game to these promoters. They start virtue signaling and acting all moral and whatever when it suits them. When it doesn't suit them, they sign fighters who have got a very checkered history. We've seen Eddie Hearn do this, for example, on several occasions. He famously was quoted as saying that fighters who test positive should be banned for life. And then look at how many Eddie Hearn fighters are tested positive. And he hasn't called for them to be banned for life. And look how many fighters who tested positive before they were with Hearn, and then Hearn still signed them afterwards or still worked with them. So promoters are going to do what they do. They're like politicians in a way. They say whatever suits them in that particular moment. They're not worried about being hypocrites or anything like that. They're just out to make money, and they will manipulate the fans. And if that means virtue signaling to get people on board, oh yeah, he's saying the right thing here, then that's what they will do. It's all about making money. Some promoters will push things further than others, and some promoters are more unscrupulous than others. Okay. They're not all equally unscrupulous. So anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And of course, the fact that he's saying Jarrell Miller will receive a multi-year or possibly life ban, you have to imagine Bob Arum's in the know. Jarrell Miller's messed up his situation with Top Rank and Bob Arum, unless some new revelations come out about this test and it wasn't what we assumed it to be. Then, yeah, Bob Arum surely is in the know, and that Jarrell Miller's not going to be working with him anymore. But how exactly will they ban Jarrell Miller for multiple years or ban him for life? How is that going to be implemented? Because in the United States, you've got, 50 different commissions? And if a guy really wants to fight, he'll find some state that will license him somewhere. One of those backwater states where they don't really have many boxing shows, And it's just a bunch of like tough man contests and hillbillies getting in the ring. Jarrell Miller could probably fight in one of them states. You know, he might have to wait a little while. But like, for example, I remember when Mike Tyson bit Evander Holyfield's ear, he got suspended or banned by several commissions, including Nevada. Then he started going and fighting in these backwaters. I mean, even when he fought Lennox Lewis, that was in Memphis, Tennessee. It's unusual for big fights to happen in Memphis. When he had his fight against Danny Williams, that was also in some backwater somewhere. There are places that will license a fighter who has been banned in other states. That's always been the case. With that being said, Mike Tyson was a far bigger commodity than Jarrell Miller. And being a bigger commodity is more likely that these other states will, give you a license. But Jarrell Miller also has the opportunity to fight abroad. He also has the opportunity maybe to switch back to kickboxing, go into MMA, etc. I doubt that this guy is just going to walk away and start working for UPS or something. I think Jarrell Miller will continue in combat sports, even if he gets banned by many, many different commissions in the United States. I'm pretty sure this guy's going to find a way to make money through fighting. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about Bob Arum's statement and what you think the future holds for Jarrell Miller, if you care. But really, it's the implications. Because if Jarrell Miller is able to still fight, then more and more questions have to be asked. If he can find a different state to fight in or a different country, questions have to be asked about that. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. It's happening. I'm out.